I'm Drea.
I'm Meg.
I'm Tina.
And I'm Jess.
And this is Pardon My Stash. Welcome to Pardon My Stash, a podcast about knitting within the fiber arts and how awesome it is.
Woo-woo.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Before we get into today's topic, let's check out what we're working on this week. Tina?
I am working on extending the weights of my seed dot beanie. So right now I am doing the super bulky version, and I am using Madeline Tosh ASAP in the colorway Wilted. And so I did notice in terms of Madeline Tosh ASAP, it is marked as a super bulky, but I'm going to see how this guy blooms, because right now I compared just the strand to other super bulkies that I had in my stash. And well, first of all, super bulky in general is just a wide array of sizes.
It's fair.
Because if you look at Hometown, and then you look at Rasta, and then you look at, any kind of hand,
they're all kind of different.
they're all different. But I would say this one is probably on the lighter side of a super bulky. So I'm wondering if when this gets blocked, that this is going to bloom a lot. So I will report back in after I get further on this. I literally just cast on, so I'm just getting through the ribbing right now. So
Very good. I like the color.
yeah,
It is a
it's
pretty
super
color.
pretty. It's like a wine stained cream.
It's like a mauve, like a dark mauve.
Yeah. So I really like it, and it's really nice to touch.
Let me touch it.
Okay. Wait, I'm going to give you the ball, because I really haven't knit much yet.
Squishy.
He's squishy. Yeah, I like her. Don't choke me. It's on my neck.
It's on your neck.
I'm not wearing my necklace today. So it's Drea was about to take me out, guys.
No, I would never. Meg?
So, and I need to kind of excuse myself first, because I am actually working on 3 projects right now. The thing is that, as we said a couple weeks ago, I have different projects for different things. The one I've been really burning through right now is the Owl Nouveau cowl, but I cannot podcast and do color work. That's not a thing I can do. I can barely color work and watch TV. So that's aside. And then I've been knitting the Impressionist shawl, but I'm also getting to the Lisi portion. I can't podcast with that anymore. So that's to the side. So that brings us to today, when I need another project on the go that's kind of portable, and I need something that I can actually podcast with. So I am working on a shawl that is called A Random Act of Kindness, by Wolf and Fawn Knits. This is actually a free pattern on Ravelry. It is an asymmetric shawl in DK weight, and I am knitting it out of Madeline Tosh DK in the colorway. And I know all of you will be shocked after my confession a few weeks ago. Bird is the word.
Gee. Couldn't see that coming.
I can't help it. I mean, it doesn't hurt that the color is actually really pretty. It's like
very pretty.
it's like a cream with speckled with like oranges and very dark blues and grays, and I love it. I think it's really pretty. The pattern is super simple, and it's designed to really kind of showcase a speckly yarn. So far, I'm actually really enjoying it. It's kind of odd, because when I first held it in the skein, it was wound very tightly, and I thought, oh, this is going to be like kind of a more durable yarn. Mm-hmm. And I started knitting it, and it's actually extremely pleasantly squishy. I'm knitting it on US 8s, which is kind of a size I like to do DK on, but I'm really enjoying it so far. I did not swatch for this project. I know. I just hauled off and did it. I had way more yarn than I need for it, so I'm like, I'm not going to worry about it. And it's a shawl. So as long as I have more yarn than I need, I don't really need to worry about swatching.
Living dangerous.
I didn't swatch for the hat either.
I thought of that when you said I'm waiting to see how it blooms, but I was like, I'm not going to call her out like that on the podcast. That would be mean. That would be mean.
What I did is I'm making the size below that fits me. because I have a big head. So I'm making the normal size. And then if it blooms, it'll fit me.
Do you see what we've become? Do you see what we've become?
I know.
We were supposed to be like the last line
I've been influenced.
on the swatch, and both of us were just like, whatever this time. It is what it is.
I'll do a swatch after.
Yeah, I measure it after. Well, kind of, because then you can. I mean, you kind of have to because you're a designer.
Yeah, I have to.
I do not. So, but on a whole, I'm enjoying it, and I'm actually using it on a mini minder that Jess can probably talk about way better than me because I just started using it tonight. It's like it almost looks like a little top that holds your yarn.
And it spins the yarn.
And it spins
for
the
you.
yarn so it doesn't get tangled. And I am liking it, but again, I haven't used it very much. Jess can.
I was going to ask do you pull from the outside?
I
You
am
have
pulling
to.
from the outside.
You
You
can't
can't
do the
pull
center
from the middle
pull.
because
that's where the stick goes through the middle.
no yarn barf.
Oh.
Zero yarn barf.
No, the most that happens is every once in a while, like the yarn will, when you stab it through, will pull it up, and all you have to do is kind of loosen it and pull it back out, and it's fine.
No,
Like,
thank you.
It's really awesome.
I do not like yarn barf. So,
Jess.
I'm making borbs because
we're back to the borbs.
We're back to the borbs and felting because I did a whole lot of knit and crochet. I did a jellyfish. I crocheted jellyfish and
Two color work hats.
I did 2 color work hats because I was trying to create a new gradient and I had to figure out how that works. So I got 2 color work hats and I did the color work
cowl.
And I'm still working on the Dej vest and I'm in that like the body part and I'm near the end and I thought I was at the end and then I realized I was like 3 inches short and I was like, well, I'm gonna felt something now.
You should. We were at her grandparents' house for Memorial Day picnic on Sunday, and like she's sitting there working on it with this face of abject misery as she just does row after row of stockinette. It's like I've never seen anyone look
it's like
so tortured while they knit.
Stockinette, and then there's like a beautiful 32 stitches of like cables, and then it's stockinette again.
She did.
And
She looked
endless.
quite miserable.
So I'm taking a break from that again, on and off. I mean, I still work on it, but I wanted to work on birds, and I made a parrot and a crow and a jambu fruit dove, and now I'm doing a dragon because reasons. And I am working on the felting studio. It has like these cool like medieval-esque kits, so I'm doing a chickadee
Nice.
of that too.
Yeah, that's almost done, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got like leaves, so I'm making borbs.
Drea?
I am still working on the Arachne Shawl by Claire Slade / Verily Knits.
It's getting there.
It is. I finished the body of the spider, the second spider. Unfortunately, I've come to the end of another row and my stitches don't line up. So.
Oh no.
Yay.
You know, I have to say, like, it feels like if you take just a slight attention away from it, all of a sudden it just
It's like,
it gets mad. And I say that, and that's why I don't bring that anymore with me to the podcasting, because I feel like as soon as I could feel so confident about what I'm doing, it's just like, nope.
Well, I was having a lot of like good days back to back, and over like 3 days I did most of this second spider.
Yeah.
And then I got to the end of this row and I was supposed to have like a certain number of stitches left over before I do the knit front and back, knit one, and then it wasn't there by 1 stitch. And I
That's
don't
so
know if it's
frustrating.
that I didn't do the knit front and back in the previous row.
Yeah, I've done that before, and I actually will ladder down and just do the knit front and back and then go back up instead of redo, because the rows are getting so long that I don't want to redo the entire row. Or 2 rows, because you have to go back twice to get back. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm waiting for another good day because I've had a lot of bad days over the past couple weeks, and my skin is still like super sensitive. So I'm really not. I really haven't done any knitting in several weeks now, which is a bum. But I'm hoping to like power through it in the next coming weeks because I do want to finish this project before the make along concludes. And I think I can do it because I've had a good like couple of days. My skin's still like super sensitive, but like my head is clear, so I know I'm on the road to like getting back together.
I'll applaud that.
It's not been fun.
No.
If you are interested in Madeline Tosh yarn or the mini minder, head on over to jimmybeanswool.com. And also check out our website, pardonmystash.com, for more information as well as pictures regarding our current projects, patterns, and yarns. So welcome to this week's episode of the podcast. And this week we are going to be talking about habits that crafters have that non-crafters do not have and may possibly think that we are weird for doing.
Just possibly.
I thought you had to be weird as a prerequisite to get into crafting.
That is extremely true. And
I
I have
to a
no idea
degree.
who listens to our podcast. I mean, I know that it's mostly, crafters and all that, but I feel like there are some people out there that think that crafters are just like regular people with hobbies.
No. The eccentrics go to the crafting community.
Yeah.
There's crafting, and then there's crafting.
If you're listening to our podcast, you're probably weird too. It's okay. We love you.
Oh, no, we embrace you. Thank you.
We are, in fact, your people.
We are, yes. We're here. We're weird. Get used to it.
Join us as we go on this journey through all of our weird habits that we do
Together.
in public.
My number one habit that I do all the time that drives, I don't know if it drives my husband nuts, but he definitely like
Comments on it.
is like, you ever hear like construction guys when they see things that they've built when they're driving down the road.
Oh, yeah.
And they
I
gotta
worked on
tell
that
you,
house.
I've done that. Yeah. So, I'll see people's like sweater, any kind of knitted anything. I'll be like, I know what stitch that is.
Yeah.
I know what that is.
Yeah.
I'll see if you recognize the pattern in public.
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
Pattern or stitch.
Yep,
Oh,
I know
yeah.
that
I'm
sweater.
calling it each time. And,
I know that shawl.
and then it's just my husband going, uh-huh.
Do mine eyes deceive me, or is that a nope?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
That is a nope.
With some nice seat stitch right there.
I absolutely do that. I also, when I'm going like clothing shopping, if like Frank is with me, and I know that you mentioned this before we started recording, but I also do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I grope clothing
Yeah.
like on the rack.
Yeah. Kind of too long. That makes people,
Kind of too long.
then like people look at you and
Well,
they're
don't
like,
make it weird.
No, I do make it weird.
I also make it weird. And I don't know about you, but I'm going, what kind of gauge is this? Can I do this myself? What is the stitch count on this? And what is this made out of? And I know that the last one, I can always look at the tag, but I never do.
Nope. I'm going to use my nice hand and feel it out. Just feel it out. Am I sensing a touch of cotton in here?
Like when I'm like, can I do this color work pattern? Can I graph this?
Can I sneak a quick picture? So
Can I find it
can-
online?
So in the line of making it weird, one of my coworkers has this absolutely gorgeous sweater that she wears pretty often in the winter. And it's like this heather green sweater, but it has this gorgeous lace pattern, like panel going down the front of it. And every single time I see it, I'm like, how weird would it be for me to ask her, can I just like take a picture of your sweater?
Just the
Just
front.
so I
Look,
can
I don't need your head or anything. I just need this.
so I can
I don't want your face.
so I can like figure out how to do. I'm like, I bet you I
Does
can
that
figure
make it
that
more
out.
weird or less
yeah,
weird?
No,
Like,
it's
I think it's
weird.
more
It's all
weird.
weird, and I have never asked. But but I look at it all the time and I'm like, oh my God, I would love to make that. And it doesn't look super complicated.
But I bet I can figure it out.
You know what I'm going to do instead, though? I'm going to look in the Stitch Bibles that I have and try to find something similar and then just replicate it so I'm not weird, because I don't want to be weird.
This is when she listens to the podcast.
I guarantee you she does not listen to the podcast.
That'd be funny though.
And then she just comes up to you and be like, Meg, it's okay. You're not weird. Just take the picture.
None of my coworkers knit.
Oh,
And it
okay,
makes me
that's
sad.
fair.
It saddens me. I wish they did, but they don't. Not anymore.
Jess?
Hold on, I just stabbed myself because I wasn't paying attention. I moved my needle.
If anybody is wondering, because I can hear it, Jess is felting right now.
Yeah, so if you're in like little, that's me stabbing the hell out of this ball.
And apparently her fingers.
And my finger, because I didn't realize how thin I had the tail of this thing yet. But no, like I said, my biggest thing, it really is like I look at color work kind of things, or I'll look at things and be like, can I do an 8-bit like Nintendo game and then make a color work thing out of it? And I probably could, but would that be too many colors? Can I 2-color that? And then I never do because I don't have the patience to sit down and do it. Like, I've gotten stuff started, but I do. That's
Have you ever like stood there too long in the store trying to figure that out?
probably. But I mean, to be fair, a lot of those things for that is like, the nerd stores where everyone's a little awkward anyway. So I feel like they're like, yeah,
That's
just
fair.
give these people their space. Like, let them admire that Zelda shirt. They don't know. It's all good.
Admire it with 1,000-yard stare. You're not even looking at it. You're looking past it.
At that point, I'm not even thinking about like the thing I'm originally thinking about. I'm like 5 projects down. But yeah, there is that. There's, oh God, like Christmases when it's the ugly sweater season. Do you ever like look at those and think, I could do this, but would it be worth the time?
No. On both counts, really. I don't do that, and no, it would not be worth it to me.
But I haven't found a Jurassic Park ugly sweater that I liked yet.
If it's
so-
not a fake print, you know,
a lot of them
ugly
are fake print
yeah.
now. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
like
like
a lot of
screen
them-
printed
I'm wearing
on.
one right now, kind of.
She is.
Yeah, but if it's not like a screen print or something like that, then no, Jess, I can admit that I will sit there and be like,
I feel like it's,
man, I don't know if that's worth my time.
I have a lot of Seahawks ugly Christmas sweaters.
That's
like
fair.
I have a ridiculous amount of number ugly Seahawks sweaters. Like I have more than what I need. But never once have I sat there and said, I should do this myself. Never once. I feel like that is so much work. I feel like that is so much effort. And they are like machine knit and they're like actual color work.
Oh yeah, no, that's it.
But
A lot of them are. But what if there was one that you wanted but they didn't make? That's what I mean. Like,
See, I feel that way about like a Debo sweater. Like I would really enjoy a Debo.
so I
He's
have
my favorite.
I have an action green holiday sweater. And it's a colorwork sweater with Richard Sherman's face on
yes, best.
it, which I love and I adore, but I am also readily admitting that it is quite scary to look at.
Oh yes, I've got one with Andrew Luck and it's the same thing. You know, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, the color work doesn't really do them a favor. No, the faces. It really doesn't. Like they tried, but it's not good.
I love that sweater. I wear it at home.
Yeah, probably.
Fairly speaking, Sherman is not on that team anymore. He's not on any team anymore.
Also true, but still.
I have one that I'm kind of embarrassed to admit because I know that it makes people probably not like me.
Go on. Just so you know, as soon as you say this, friends off.
Okay, good to know. So when people who are not crafters are talking and start talking about crafting in casual conversation and say the wrong thing, I have to correct it.
Oh, no, we can still be friends. I do that too.
No, because like they were like, yeah, you know that I don't know, like they'll be talking about yeah, I would really love a crocheted baby blanket, and the thing that they're looking at is definitely knit, and I'm like, oh no, that's knit. And they're looking, okay, knit, whatever, and then they just like get annoyed at me, and I'm like, oh, it's not whatever. Knit and crochet are two different things.
It's true though.
Very, very
and it bothers me.
It's true. Like Frank's friends, they have this beautiful Transformers blanket that somebody made for them. And it's beautiful. It's a work of art. Like whoever made that for them did a really good job. And every time I'm over there and they see me knitting, the blanket has to come out for one.
You're like, we've already gone through this, but it's okay.
And they always go, and so knit this for us. And it was just so kind of them. And I'm like, yeah, they crocheted that for you. No. They knit this for me. No.
That was done with a hook, my friend.
Just say that they crafted it for you.
Let's agree
They
to disagree.
handmade it.
No.
I don't know if you guys remember this. This was a long, long time ago. I think I was either in middle school or high school. But there were these commercials by Quilted Northern.
Oh my
You know what I'm
God,
gonna
yes.
say? And they were like quilting the toilet paper, but they were using knitting needles.
Yes.
Yeah, it
And
was
my
really
mother,
weird.
a quilter, got so irate. Irate.
Guys,
At this commercial. Like she really
Like-
got mad. She's like, you don't quilt with knitting needles. Who did this?
It was
And then
really
like a
weird.
few months later they changed it and the little old ladies were like sewing the toilet paper instead. And she was like, okay.
Somebody called
complained.
No. Not somebody. Many somebody.
Many somebody.
Many somebody's called in and complained. But I remember she was so mad about it. And like I get that.
do you guys remember,
It's
what
obnoxious.
was it, Liberty Mutual?
Yes.
Where
Yep.
that was interesting because they had the finished crocheted projects and the guy was knitting a currently correct knitted project, and I'm like,
Yes.
why didn't you just follow through with one or the other?
Like they came so close.
like the
Swing and a
guy
miss.
is actually knitting,
Yes.
but the projects are actually what is happening?
Yes. That is what happened.
I was so confused when that commercial came out. I was like, huh?
Swing and a miss.
Because like you, at first you're excited. You're like, all right, he's
Yeah.
knitting.
He's doing a good
okay,
job.
great.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna pull out some of the. Oh,
And they were like, wait.
Yep, some of
And,
the
you know,
projects.
maybe he was just like branching out, but they make it seem
Yeah.
like it was all the same.
Guys, it just feels like spreading misinformation now.
we're just trying to get the truth out.
The other thing
I think all crafters do that though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, everybody will call
Any
you out.
hobbyist in general, I think, really, if you think about it, is probably
Just pushing the glasses up on the nose.
like,
Actually.
listen.
Well, actually,
The other thing too is that both knitters and crocheters tend to think that their hobby is the easier
Yes.
of the two. Like a knitter will say, I could never crochet, it's too hard. And crocheters are like, oh my God, like knitting is the hard one. Like, what are you talking about? We all tend to think that the one that we do is the easier one.
I've heard that, and I have always been of the mind that crochet is easier than knitting.
Jess?
It depends on what you're doing. Crochet
I
goes
agree with
faster in most cases because a lot of times you can double or triple up your stitches. But if you do that, then you don't really have, like, you have more openings and whatnot. So garment wise, you can't really do that as often. Noops are easier with crochet.
Yeah, I bet.
But there are a lot of things like color work, absolutely a pain with crochet.
I can't even imagine crocheted color work.
It's a pain.
Like, I can't even
and if you
imagine
don't
doing it.
carry the yarn right,
Nope.
there's like obvious
That
leaps.
sounds
And
like a
it's-
huge nope to me.
So it depends on what you're doing and what your project is.
I also think that it's a case of whatever you learn first
Yeah.
is the one that
Is a
will
little-
be easier for you. Because, I mean, whatever you're learning first, you're obviously putting in more time. You know, all of us at this table, I mean, minus Jess, I mean, we've put in over a decade to knitting. You know, of course, crochet is going to be hard. We're used to knitting.
I was just thinking, I'm like, oh my God, I literally 2 decades at this point.
Yeah.
2 decades I've been knitting. And I've been crocheting for, if you think about it, maybe 4 weeks out of the past year. And it's really hard. It's hard. I'm not, no, absolutely not.
I am starting to there's a lot of machine knitting projects that are benefit from a crochet finish.
Yeah.
And so I've been haphazardly trying to crochet, and I think I have the gist of it, but my technique is very poor, and I have also really poor tension. So I'm trying to like figure that out right now. But I feel like I have like gum in my hands, and I don't know what I'm doing.
I feel like we also tend to forget like how bad we were when we started and how hard it was when we started and how we felt like we had like 3 hands at once when we were trying to knit and everything was difficult and our tension was lousy and everything we knit came out like garbage.
Yes.
Because we're so far removed from
this
that
point,
now.
we're like,
We're like, "Pfft, it's easy now." Of course it is, because we've had all the years to develop the muscle memory.
So another thing that I do often is when I see a good bag, I go, "Oh, that's a good bag for knitting. Oh, that's a good project bag. That's a good project bag. It could literally be anything. It could be like a little zip pocket from an Amazon order, and I'm like, "Oh, that's a good project bag." And then I like make a stack of them, and I'm like, "Why? I don't need this bag."
No, the Amazon pouches are becoming a problem for me because like when I order clothes from Amazon now, they send it in the zippy pouches.
Yes.
And every time I get a new zippy pouch, I'm like, oh, I can store a project in here.
Yeah.
Do you know how many zippy pouches I have now?
You only knit one
An
thing at a time.
unnecessary
You already
amount
have
of
too many
zippy
bags.
pouches.
Oh no, I don't use them as project bags. I use them as project holders, like finished
Time out.
projects.
Oh, I got
finished?
you.
Yeah, finished projects.
I got
like
you.
storage bags.
Oh, well, that's a good thing, though. Like, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. Keep accumulating those.
I have so many.
Oh.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, I didn't even think
always-
about that, honestly.
I have always just kind of had a pile of finished objects that move around my craft room, and I don't know what to do with them.
No, and that's a good idea for keeping dust and moths.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
the whole
that's-
nine off.
That's
of
why
them.
I
Yeah.
started doing it
No,
because
that's
I
a
was
good
like, this will
idea.
help preserve stuff, and I won't have to worry about it like getting out or fading. Like I save the ones that are like opaque, the ones that you can't see through. So
You know what other ones are really good? Curtain bags.
yeah,
Those are A+. plus.
those are nice.
Those are like the granddaddy of the zip plastic bags. I'm telling you right now.
I have saved a few of those to put large quantities of the same yarn in, like sweater quantities.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
To save like for a project or something. Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I mean, eventually one day, but at least they're all together.
Family.
I have gone from that's a good box, I can't throw that away, to
That's
that's
a
a
nice
nice bag.
Okay.
Gotta keep that.
So ever since I've been doing Yarn Saver and selling the secondhand yarn, I literally have a stack of used boxes in the doorway of my craft room because I do go through them. They do go like it dwindles. But sometimes it like I don't have a couple orders for a little bit, and then I like order some Amazon stuff and it just like builds up.
Yep.
Right now the stack is pretty high, so I'm just like, but yeah, I definitely I have a stack of and it's not all Amazon boxes. It's just any kind of box that I get, and I'm like, oh, this could be a good
This is a good
box
shipping
to
box.
reuse
This is
for
a good
shipping.
box.
We
And
do
I'm
that
like,
too.
yeah, because it's like I've looked at and I have purchased boxes to ship, but it's so expensive and like.
Oh, yeah,
almost
no.
And
like
you've got these perfectly decent boxes just coming in from your own orders.
And
like,
you know what?
good
It's a
box.
secondhand yarn store, so
You might as well
secondhand
be
box.
thrifty.
There you go.
So we actually just got a shipment of base yarn, and it came in a secondhand box that the distributor used to ship it to us.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Feel validated.
Yes.
yeah, right?
If the big companies are doing it, like
Listen, it's
Small
good for the
businesses feel free.
environment.
right.
You're
no need to
reusing
throw
the
away a perfectly good
boxes.
box. I have another one.
Go on.
This is kind of judgy. I don't know if people do this. I do this.
I'm ready.
I have so many little stitch marker holders.
Yes.
I never put them back.
Nope.
They float around in the bottom of my project bags. They float around in my notions cases. They never end up back. And then I curse and I can't find them and I get mad at myself. That's why I go through stitch markers so much.
When you say the whole, I'm sorry. When you say the holders, do you mean the case to hold the?
Yeah,
stitch
I
markers?
have the one of those little I think it's like a pill minder box.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they're supposed to go in that.
Yeah.
Do they go in that? No, they don't.
No.
They just go everywhere.
They go into the ether.
They go into the ether.
Yeah.
And yeah. And I get really mad, especially when they're my nice ones. But
And then I'll get,
Yeah.
you have
Jess, do you have a stitch marker? No, I do that so much.
Do you know how many times I'm out with like
It's so bad.
Frank and his friends? And I'm like, did you see where I put this little thing down?
Yeah.
It's just like a little circle.
it's just a thing.
It looks like this.
Might have a bird attached to it.
or a piece of cheese or something.
something.
Yeah, a pineapple.
And then you resort to being like, do you have a twist tie in your house? Can I
Yes.
use a twist tie, please? And you're like, I have 7,000 stitch markers somewhere.
But I can get an entire group of people on the floor looking for my stitch marker if I ask nice enough.
No, that's why I have children.
Also fair.
These are all adults.
No, I've definitely
Like
like,
easier with kids. I have used your kids to look for stitch markers underneath your sofa.
okay, my recliner sofa is notorious for eating things because it
I
has
know.
a space especially when you recline it.
Yeah.
And
Well, the amount of things you find when you lift up couch cushions, though, you're like, oh, there's a whole like circular needle set down here. Like,
circular needle.
Well, your recliners though,
What Chiagu said.
like
Look at that.
like in the back where the back meets the cushion, like the back meets the seat. There's that pocket,
Yes.
and it holds
Yeah.
everything.
It's a fun surprise. I found a crochet hook I thought was like gone into the ether because I was cleaning out the couch and I was like, oh, my crochet hooks, I found them.
God.
You know, I would be better about when you're talking about the stitch marker holders. I feel like I would be better about even just the project bags like that. But I tend to put the project bags are all over the place. And then I have a drawer in my craft room where the project bags are supposed to live. And then I'm like, I have so many project bags, but then when I open it, all I see are the zipper, like secondhand project bags. And I'm like, no, I have nice ones. Where are the nice ones? And I'm like, then I have to like go through, you know, I have hooks that are holding current projects. Some of them are empty. Then I have like random empty bags on the craft table. And then there's like some by the, you know, the craft seating area by the window. And then there's some in the living room. It's just, the bags are everywhere.
You know, we focus a lot on like hoarding yarn. Maybe we should just talk about hoarding anything that's possibly related to the craft because apparently we all
it's
do
so
that.
hard though, too, because sometimes you're like, I haven't used this in 12 years, but what if when I throw it out, I need it?
yeah.
Like, it's so hard.
I might need this exact yarn that's been discontinued for like 15 years.
And I only have like
20 yards of it,
yeah.
but I might use it for an embellishment or something.
You
yeah.
never know.
I know.
I can't tell you how many times like I have put a yarn up on Yarn Saver and then I want to take it back down because I'm like, wait, what if I
what
need it
if-
for this?
One day.
Right. No.
And I'm like, no.
See, I don't have a problem with leaving my bags all over the place. Like I always know where all my bags are because I have one that is out and all of them are in the bin. Because I'm only using one. But my problem is that I don't put the needles back.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
Oh
I
my God.
I finish
Oh
a
my
project
God.
and the needles just stay in the bag. Like the bag goes where the bag is supposed to go, but nothing else does.
Do you know when I was looking for a stitch marker for Tina at the beginning of this episode, I opened up my Notions bag and I must have 8 sets of interchangeable circular needles in that bag.
Yeah.
And we
All
have
sizes.
a folder for them.
We
but-
do. We have an organizational system. Doesn't matter.
This is my Notions bag.
And it's full of needles, right? That sounds so bad.
It's
Full of needles. Oh no.
Drea just rolled out like at
a
least
whole bunch. See, I never put the
4
cords
sets
in
of
there.
needles.
At least you have the cords. I have the needles, and then I can't find the cords, and then I end up buying more cords on Amazon, and there are probably cords all over this. This is so bad. This is so bad. Like I'm finding things out about myself that I probably already knew.
Here's part of a circular.
Didn't-
Oh,
There's
good.
part of a
That's good.
circular.
Yeah. Nope,
Oh, here's the other one.
guys, I don't.
Been looking
I don't.
for that.
I don't even know what to say at this point.
I just like pull out a fistful of circular needles.
Yup,
Listen,
whole bunch of needles.
you never know when you'll need them in that Notions bag.
I also have a tendency of putting bags in bags in bags. If you've listened to prior episodes, you know that I take like 7 whips with me typically when I go out. I'm actually
whips.
okay, but like you can all attest. Today I have a what's it called?
It's a very small bag.
A very tiny little satchel.
Looks more like a clutch.
A clutch. Yeah, it's like my wallet essentially. And then I have one project bag with me. I feel naked.
Which is like really impressive.
I feel absolutely naked.
I was shocked. She walked through the door and I was like, oh, traveling light today.
But anyways, normally I have a giant bag. I have smaller ones, and sometimes the bigger ones will have space inside their bags because I haven't fully made the project yet. So then I stuff all the smaller ones in the big one. And then I take that and I put it in a tote bag. And then sometimes I move stuff around, and then suddenly I don't know which bag is in which tote or larger project bag. And then if I finish a project and then I put it inside another project bag because it's finished and empty now and I'm not home yet, it just every so often I have to go to my craft room. I have to open up all of my bags and find all of the things that have been missing over the last year.
Re-inventory.
Yeah, I do that with my needles.
Oh, God.
Probably like once a year, I'll open up all my bags and find all of my missing needles. And it's usually when I need to find a certain size needle
And you find
that I did
everyone
not
but
put back
that.
where it belonged. That hasn't happened yet this year.
If we are at any sort of store and they have a mystery box of some kind, I go, please just don't think about it. Don't think about it. Please don't even look at it.
fun, though.
Because the minute she sees like $10 mystery box, she's like, oh,
They could be so good.
what's
You
that?
never know.
90% of the time they're not.
That's not true.
They're
There's
not.
usually at least one cool thing in there.
No.
Yeah.
Most of the time they're really not.
Maybe to you.
Oh my God. No, actually, the few times that I'm like, yeah, I get that. You're like, oh no, that yarn is probably not my style. And I'm like, you haven't even
true.
looked at it. And she's like, yeah, but I'm picky about yarn.
I
But if it's
really
like $10 crap mystery box, she's like, I bet there's something cool in there. I'm serious. I'm so serious.
It's true.
Yarn, and I'm sitting here like, well, if it's yarn and you don't like it, I mean, I bet I'll like it. And she's like, nah.
No. But if it's like notions.
The mystery box is not for you, Meg.
Listen, if
I'm
it's
just
notions,
saying.
you never know.
Right.
You could get like cheese notions. You don't know. Like the possibilities are endless.
It could happen.
Until you open the box and realize that you totally, whatever you had was totally not worth it.
Listen, sometimes
I don't
there's
know.
cool stuff.
Also, there's something to be said for the enjoyment of the surprise. The
Sure.
enjoyment of the finding out. And
Yes. Sometimes there is no joy.
Do you guys calculate how many minutes of knitting you could have gotten done if you're sitting down and you didn't whip out your whip?
No.
So Frank and I went to go see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes this weekend.
Oh, of course you did.
His choice, not mine.
Of course you did.
I see where this is going, and it's hilarious.
It's not to say that it was not an enjoyable film.
But
It was all right. Not my choice, again. But at the end of it, yeah, I was like, I could have gotten a substantial amount of knitting done. Substantial. It was not a short movie.
If we waited till we watched this at home, I could have been comfortably knitting while I watched.
What's even funnier is that I'm not even knitting right now, and I still thought that.
I don't necessarily do that with knitting, but I do that with a lot of things. Like if I have a meeting after work, I'm like, ugh. I could have like gotten in a
Solid 2 inches.
55-minute walk out of this.
Yeah.
Like I could have actually gotten like 3 lesson plans done in this period of time. Like I don't always do it with crafting, but I definitely do it with other things where I'm like,
This time could have been spent.
could have
so
spent
much
this
better.
time doing something else.
I did it today at my dermatologist appointment because it was supposed to be at 1:45, and I got there at like 1:35, and I was like, oh, that's not enough time. I don't want to pull everything out, and then I have to put it right back in.
And then they were
Then
late.
you
She
had
didn't
to
see me
wait.
until 2,
Oh no, that was a lot of lost
which
time.
is fine. Like, whatever. She was backed up, but I didn't
But
know
you're
she was
just
backed
like,
up. And I was like, I could have gotten a half hour for it. I was so mad. Because every time I was like, I should pull it out, I'm like, it's too late. It's too late.
If I pull it out, they'll call me in. What's the
That's what
point?
they'll call me in.
So, okay, sometimes in those situations, that is when I pull it out. Especially when, like, it's taking forever. I'm like, all right, the minute I open this bag,
That's
they're going
true.
to call
They're
me
gonna
back.
call,
And
or-
it happens every time, like clockwork. Lo and behold, my name is called.
Usually as soon as I sit down in a waiting room, even if I'm early, if I'm on time, even if I'm a couple minutes late, immediately I'll get 2 stitches in. I'll still
telling
be
you,
happy.
it is the way that it goes. That's when they call you back.
Well, then I'm like fumbling to get it into my bag.
Yeah,
and then,
you're like, oh god.
and then I'm chatting with the nurse that's bringing me in, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I'm working on. Do you want to see it? And then I get to pull it out again.
I have another weird one.
Go on.
If I have to roll up anything, like even the hose, I roll it up like I'm winding up olive yarn.
Yes.
I know that doesn't make any sense, but like I definitely do that. It could be the hose. It could be a piece of rope from the children's craft stuff. It just is all of a sudden you'll have these nice little
Like
yarn
cakes.
looking cake
Yes.
balls just sitting around.
I do that with
Yeah.
Frank's extension cords. They are very neatly wound.
Yeah, you learn a lot about winding when you do a yarn project.
It's a life skill, okay?
Listen, it helps things from getting tangled.
You're welcome.
There's no hose barf.
Does anybody else either cap their needles or I never have needle caps. Shove their knitting all the way down on their needles, like as far as possible.
Yes.
So that, because
I
all
do
it took was
both.
one time of stuffing it into your bag and somehow
Oh no.
the edge fell off and all of a
Yep.
sudden you are
Crying.
bereft.
And I think that is like half the reason why I do circular needles now.
Yeah. Well, they fall off the circs too, but
Not as often.
if you push it down far enough. It's not as
if
bad.
you push it down far enough.
I
You
usually
twist it a little bit.
Yeah, I usually push it down all the way, and then I will like weave the needles into the work. Ain't going
Been
nowhere.
there.
I think what we really have learned is we all have trust issues. That's
I mean, also fair.
Yes, and we're a little bit judgmental. Yes.
Yep.
I don't think we're alone in any of these feelings, though. I think that we're
I feel like a lot of people are going to relate to a lot of this stuff.
It's either that or a lot of people are going to go, what the heck is wrong with you
Yeah,
guys?
that or we're just really weird.
And you're sitting there like, but then there's another crafter looking at you with suspicion. Will you be the one that pulls my project out too fast and loses all the stitches?
Shout out to my college roommate
Oh.
who did that. Yes. She just picked it up. She's like, oh, this looks cool. And she like pulled the needle. And just granted, it was a garter stitch scarf, so it was not hard to put it back on.
But
But
still.
I was like, ah!
it's the principle of the thing.
You would think that Patrick is carrying a glass tray when he has to lift any of my projects.
Yeah.
He's just like, his arms are like out and he's like, okay, hold on.
Yep.
Oh, Frank won't even touch my stuff.
Only if he has to, like if whatever, I'm washing the dishes somewhere, I'm occupied where I really can't get up and do it. But I also try just not to put it in his space so he doesn't have to have a panic attack.
You know,
Yeah,
at
the only
least he's
time-
conscious about
The only time Frank will touch my stuff is if it's in a bag.
Yeah.
And then he'll hand me the bag. But if I ask him to hand me my project, he's like,
How about no?
I'd rather not. That is it for this week's topic. For additional content and opportunities to connect with the cast, check out our website at partofmystash.com. Be sure to tune in next time for more laughs, love, and llamas at Part of My Stash.